The forest was quiet, too quiet. John felt alone. He had been walking for hours. Each step felt heavier than the last. John was lost, and not just in the woods. Life had been hard. John felt like he was carrying the weight of the world. He had lost his job, his wife had left him, and he felt utterly alone. He didn't know where to turn. John stumbled over a root and fell. He lay there for a moment, tears welling in his eyes. "Is this it?" he whispered. "Is this all there is?" But then, a sound, a voice, soft and gentle, carried on the breeze. John slowly got to his feet and followed the sound. The voice led him to a clearing, a place where the first light of dawn kissed the earth and the last rays of the setting sun bid it goodnight. In the center of this serene clearing sat a small, quaint cabin, with smoke curling lazily from its chimney, as if inviting weary travelers to rest. An old woman sat on the porch, her kind smile radiating warmth and a sense of welcome that seemed to melt away the chill in the air. "Well, hello there, Sonny," she said, her voice carrying a gentle, soothing tone that made John feel at ease. "You look like you could use a cup of tea." John hesitated, unsure whether to trust this stranger. He didn't know this woman, but he desperately needed someone, anyone to talk to. His heart was heavy with unspoken words and unresolved pain. He walked towards her, drawn in by her warmth and the promise of solace. The woman's name was Martha, and her presence felt like a beacon of hope in John's dark world. As John sipped his tea, he found himself opening up, telling her everything that had been weighing him down. The pain, the loss, the feeling of being utterly lost in a world that no longer made sense. Martha listened patiently, her eyes filled with understanding and compassion, never interrupting, just being there for him. When he was finished, she spoke, her voice soft but strong, carrying the wisdom of many years. "You see, child, sometimes we get lost so we can find ourselves again," she said, her words resonating deeply within him. "But you don't have to do it alone," she added, offering him a lifeline of companionship and understanding. Martha went inside her small, cozy home, the scent of freshly baked bread lingering in the air. She returned moments later, holding a book that seemed to carry the weight of countless stories. It was old and worn, its pages filled with words underlined and notes scribbled in the margins. John recognized it instantly. The Bible. "I'm not a religious man," John said, pushing the book away gently. His voice was tinged with hesitation and doubt. "That's all right, son," Martha said with a reassuring smile. Her eyes sparkled with a wisdom that only comes with age. "This book ain't about religion. It's about love, about hope. It's about finding light in the darkest of times, about a man who knew what it meant to suffer, to hurt, to feel alone. A man who found strength in his faith and love for others." John was skeptical, but he was desperate. He had tried everything else and found no solace. He opened the book and began to read, his heart heavy with a mixture of doubt and hope. The words were like water to a parched soul, each sentence a balm to his weary spirit. He read about Jesus, about his love for the lost and the brokenhearted. The stories resonated with him in a way they never had before. He read about forgiveness, about second chances, about a love so powerful it could heal the deepest wounds. It was as if the words were speaking directly to his soul. John had heard these stories before, but they had never touched him like this. For the first time, he felt a glimmer of hope, a spark of something greater than himself. Section 4. Finding Purpose. As the sun began to set, John felt a change within him. It was as if the fading light mirrored the end of a chapter in his life, a chapter filled with uncertainty and despair. The weight on his shoulders felt lighter. The burdens he had carried for so long seemed to dissolve into the evening air, replaced by a sense of calm he hadn't felt in years. The darkness that had clouded his mind began to lift. Rays of hope pierced through the gloom, illuminating a path he had never seen before. He looked at Martha, his eyes filled with tears. These were not tears of sorrow, but of a profound realization that he was not alone in his struggles. I feel hope," he whispered. It was a fragile hope, but it was there, flickering like a candle in the wind. Martha smiled, her eyes twinkling. She had always believed in him, even when he had lost faith in himself. "That, my dear boy, is the power of his love." Her words were like a balm to his wounded soul, soothing and comforting. "He's been waiting for you." The realization hit him like a wave, washing over him with a sense of peace and acceptance. "He's never given up on you." Those words echoed in his mind, filling the empty spaces with warmth and light. That night John slept like he hadn't slept in years. His dreams were filled with visions of a brighter future, free from the chains of his past. He woke up feeling renewed, as if a weight had been lifted from his soul. The morning light seemed to promise new beginnings and endless possibilities. He knew he had a long way to go, but for the first time in a long time he wasn't afraid. He felt a newfound strength and determination. He had found a purpose, a reason to keep going. It was a purpose that gave his life meaning and direction. He had found love in the most unexpected of places. He had found Jesus. And with that, he knew he could face whatever challenges lay ahead. Section 5. A New Dawn. John's story is a reminder that even in the darkest of times there is always hope. There is always a light to guide us back to the path. Sometimes all we need is a kind word, a listening ear, and an open heart to find our way back to Him. His love is a beacon, shining bright for all who seek it. It's never too late to find your way back to Him. He's waiting. Always. Take a moment today to reflect on your own life. Are you lost in the woods? Open your heart to His love. You might be surprised by what you find.